Hey, how's it going? I have some cards to read for you today. And first, I'm going to show you my signs. I don't know if I'm going to talk about a show, but I probably will. Okay. So today, I pulled from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, number 39, me-tox. Repairing the body, mind, spirit. Me-tox. And it's got a, there was another card where it was like a bird person, and yesterday it was a wood tree person. This looks like a tropical bird / palm person, having a bath, having a soak and a bubble bath, it looks like. Well, yeah, there's bubbles. I will show you. And there's something that looks like a big feathered fan that you would see in an old movie from when, like, I was a kid and the movie was old then. And there'd be some, like, Roman guy on a chaise lounge, and there'd be slave girls with, big fans on rods and poles. or it would be like a woman on the chaise lounge, and it'd be slave boys fanning them and feeding them grapes one by one, who's ever on the chaise lounge. Or fan dancer, No, not that really. And also the color's weird. I don't know why it's so dark. But there's a few bubbles. And in the bubbles, there's the tropical palm person. And that's the fan looking thing that I was talking about, but it is very dark. And also, for some reason, it's like a potted plant. I just looked at the tub and thought, oh, cool, clawfoot. But they're also green. That's funny, like the plant person, and they sort of look like broccoli and artichoke hearts, or not hearts, but just a whole artichoke. And what's that little spigot there? I don't know what it's called, but I think it's a tool from Masons, like Freemason building guys, and it looks like some kind, like it would be on a string, and it would be suspended, and I think it measures like level or something. I don't know the name of it, but that's what it looks like. I thought I charged you. What a rip. Okay, I guess I'll have it for another 7 minutes. But like I said, there's bubbles, and in the bubbles, here, the smallest one, or whatever, not the smallest one, but the smallest object in the 3 bubbles, 1, 2, 3. This one looks like it has a building, like maybe some kind of tower that's lit at the top, like, I don't know, a lighthouse, but it seems to have some stuff going on more on the ground, but I don't know. I suppose the background there that's light meeting the dark there, that could be a night sky meeting a moonlit sea, like that's the horizon. And so I guess it could be a lighthouse. It's brown. That's a problem too. It wouldn't do ships. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know. White is usually the color, the chosen color, and it's probably for a reason. Okay, so anyway, the other bubbles have like people's heads, and one appears to be old, And it seems like they have like these weird strings dangling from beneath the chin, and it makes it look kind of like a, I don't know, like a really old person's scraggly beard, but the face is kind of skeletal. So, I mean, wow. I think the theme is this person is old in the bubble, and I just had I just had a thought where it's a thought bubble, and the old elderly person I'm thinking represents wisdom, and then in the other bubble there seems to be my pareidolia is really messing with me. The first time I looked at it, I thought it was just like another younger person. And it does kind of look like, one of the things it looks like is a guy, maybe just past middle age, right here. And he sort of reminded me of like when Frank Sinatra was singing and he'd have a tuxedo on, and he'd be like spotlit, and like everything else around him would be dark as he'd be singing some ballad, I guess, or whatever. And I don't know what that would have to do. Why? I don't know. Okay, maybe she's having her bath at a casino and she's gonna go to a show after because she's a showgirl, but why is she in the tub with her outfit on? But there's a fan with the feathers, like I was talking about, with the fan dancers. It's just all confusing. I don't see what help this is going to be to anybody, except, duh. I forgot, like, what the card is about, though, other than my crazy impressions. Me-tox. So, let me read what the guidebook said, and it'll certainly make more sense than I just did. Or maybe it'll make what I said make sense. Me-tox. Eliminating toxic thinking. Repairing the body, mind, spirit. Cleaning house. When the me-tox card appears, it challenges you to discard the deep, dearly held judgments that have passed over yourself and that you have passed over yourself and others. Release the people who you feel wronged or offended you. Recognize that they mirror the shadow aspects of your own soul. Gonna have to do something about that. Recognize that they mirror the shadow aspects of your own soul. Yes, it's a tough pill to swallow. Okay, so now I have a little more insight on the stuff in the bubbles. Now I can see how they would represent just what it was talking about, like old stuff that you've been hanging on to forever, and letting it still affect you, like let it go. That is a detoxifying measure. So, okay, and then it's like the unlovely stuff that obviously you like your ego, you're always gonna have something there sort of unlovely to highlight the nicer side of you, or your better angels effect on your behavior. And you know, I'm getting my own associations from what's in the bubble, but honestly, the first one, the one that was like the old skeletal faced man with the scraggly beard, I'm gonna hold it closer, and I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see, but it also looks kind of scary, and that's like scary and squiddly and out of focus. That's me. Never mind that out of focus business. But yeah, like a ghost head from the Pirates of the Caribbean or something, from something under the sea. I don't know. Just an impression. And now I lost my place. Yeah, right. It's a tough pill to swallow because, the side of you, like, maybe you can't get rid of it, but it gets ugly and it needs to be aired out, and you gotta maybe, like, take it outside and beat the dirt out of it like a rug, and then you can bring it back in refreshed and renewed. Only then can you cull from your life the toxic people you have allowed into your inner circle. Would that be the rug I was just talking about? It's time for a cleaning of your proverbial house. Get rid of the thoughts and personal judgments poisoning your mind. Eliminate the inauthentic beliefs of others you've adopted as your own. Do so before your mind makes you sick. It's time for a cleaning of your proverbial house. Get rid of the thoughts and personal judgments poisoning your mind. Eliminate the inauthentic beliefs of others you've adopted as your own. Do so before your mind makes you sick. And empty your literal cupboards of the unhealthy junk food poisoning your body. Fast for one day or skip a meal to allow your body to cleanse itself and rid itself of toxins. Me-tox appears as a warning that you can no longer postpone the self-care and pampering you long for. The time is now. Do healthy maintenance on your body before you have to make repairs that you will never quite recover from. Me-tox has come to you to caution you that it is not too late, but you are at the 11th hour. Do not deprive yourself of the health you deserve. So, I reread that line and I just gave a significant glance because I have associations that I could apply to what I said and read. But it's not really about me. So I'll leave my thoughts out of it. But I thought other people might find it interesting to ponder. And so the other card I pulled was from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and it's the Cosmic Egg. And I guess I'll just read what the book says. Cosmic Egg, completion, harmony, the infinite within the finite. The Cosmic Egg is the final card in the Journey of the Animal Spirit deck, and it represents the unfolding of cosmic consciousness. The state emerges after we have tread the path for quite some time, and through self-effort and grace, we experience self-realization. A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self-limiting beliefs are lifted. See, the self-limiting beliefs to me are the same kind of thing as what the me-tox guide was talking about, where you have taken on these beliefs that are inauthentic, may or may not be your own. I would think the ones that are not your own would be more bothersome, because if something goes wrong for having hitched your wagon behind some belief, then you're stuck with that. Like, you are then, guilty by association, in a sense, I guess. Where was I? A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self-limiting beliefs are lifted. When the essence of the cosmic egg has not been activated, we may feel as if we will never get there, or that we travel alone, disconnected from others. Even if our encounter with this card is brief, appearing as a momentary glimmer or flash of interconnectedness, its potent energy stays with us. The cosmic egg is a remedy for the fragmentation of modern life. It's through the power of this card that we are reminded, if the cosmic contract written at the beginning, we hold... What? It's through the power of this card that we are reminded of the cosmic contract written at the beginning. We hold on to life, and life holds on to us. The journey is complete, but it does not end. So, what I took from that reading about this card today was about the finite holding the infinite. And obviously, like, that's a reference to the serpent encircling the egg. But what I thought was the finite holding the infinite. It made me think of our Akash and how we know that space is giant, huge, immeasurable, inconceivable, and to me that's infinite. And so the finite is like us, like me. And I think that we hold the infinite inside our finite bodies, the way it's like a quantum thing, the way that the biggest thing you could possibly imagine will fit into the smallest thing measurable, and we still would like miss something along the way there, like that. I don't know if I was clear about that, but like imagine like somehow folding and compacting down space into a particle, a little, like you can't even see it with the naked eye, not even a microscope. You got to get a electron and whatever else is above that sort of magnified viewer. And if you were able to do that, then you could have like the teeniest tiniest pocket to put it in. But while you're at the time that you're able to do that, because it mentions that it comes in at only certain times, and the times that you're able to do that, then you're able to access like the galaxy's worth of information. But we're not always able to access it all the time, and so I would think that the things that make us able to access it are stress situations and like high danger or something like that, or some kind of highly emotionally charged feelings ramped up by some mechanism or other that trigger your ability to like unlock that cosmic door to your Akash and all of that vastness of information. But you know, like I don't know if you know anything about astrology, but they talk about some of the positioning, and they talk about minutes, and I if I understand it correctly, they're talking about like a planetary transit. So the time of the movement of the planet's transportation and within that space of time, things maybe will be one way when it starts, and then as it moves through the transit, they become something else, and then it moves to the end, and like the whole thing is over. So maybe in that sense is how it like comes and goes from accessibility, and the time when you have it is sort of like the transit. I don't know if that means anything, but I just but you know, at the end of it, it's gone, right? And then they say like after the period is over, when you're visited with the energy of the cosmic egg, you still feel and remember things. Like not sort of, sounds like exactly like what is said about, you know, the days after a full moon or a new moon. It's like a reverberation, I think, of a sort. I think in the time of our me-tox, to be able to access this information for those 2 times to coincide would be good, because then you could really do some mental house cleaning. And I also pulled a second card from the Animal Spirit deck, and it's Bear. Waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel The initial weeks of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, Bear. Winter wanes and the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. When in balance, inner strength, yearning to grow. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, heaviness. To bring into balance, movement, exercise. Well, the bear does look like it's just waking up. Like, it looks like the sun's a little bit too much for those eyes after all the months in the dark. And you know, they hibernate and come out every year, and in a way, like, we can do something like that, and it would kind of be a good thing to also do while you're me-toxing, which is, you know, have a spa after you've been asleep and you have bare bedhead. But also just to, like, wake up, smack you into awareness, you know, because like it said, the bear just emerges and it's all creaky and grumpy, and you know how it is when you haven't moved for a long time. Like, you're all like, your foot feels like dough, and you feel like it just is wrong. You're like, I can't balance right, and you're just all, you're not used to it. And I think that's funny though, and so the bear has to kind of reach back into its own memories to say, hey, wait, how did I do this before? But yeah, the sleeping bear awakens. I didn't even really think about that until right now. Well, I mean, the bears, see, the way I feel about bears right now is, yes, they're dangerous, absolutely. And even more so because they're probably having to search harder than ever to find food, habitat, mates, like everything. And isn't it funny that we humans are having kind of the same problems exactly right now? Lack of housing, you know, overcrowding, food is hard to get a hold of. And then, you know, bears are not going to go to, like, what is that school that's on TV? Any of them. They're not going to call up an 800 number and get some training so they can go buy some food. Like, that's not their world. So, gosh, I honestly don't really understand the significance of this, except that maybe the sleeping bear is, you know, not just America, but all of the countries that have been going through COVID and, you know, political strife, and then outside influences, and, you know, there is definitely something going on with politics in the world, or I don't even know if politics is the right word, because some parts of the world want to have democracy, and, you know, because it's like the right thing to do, they feel. But they're hard, and in smaller places than America, they struggle to stay afloat, and a democracy. And I think that, well, actually, I don't think this. I can't cite anything, but I have read some things. But I just, I've read, when I say I've read some things, I've read like former military people talking about this, and it's like there is a struggle between democracy and something else that's not as fair, that's more autocratic, oligarchic, fascist. I don't know, like, it not, I like, it would only be good for people with a lot of money, honestly, because in situations like that, the population ends up just being fodder and eating itself, and being, as usual, the throwaway, sort of labor units that, even in this day and age when we know so much, we could so easily achieve what these people want, and everybody could have what they want and need, except the people that want to get rid of democracy so they can just basically loot and pillage and rape too, I'm sure. They don't want other people to have stuff too. They want them to have all of the stuff. They want to be the smartest and the most beautiful and the most famous and have the best stuff. And wow, are we like is democracy fighting a bunch of 9-year-old boys that don't want to share? Is that what it is? And they got like new testosterone, so they're beating the crap out of each other all the time, but they can't wait to beat up a stranger. I don't know, but I think definitely to get through these times, if you're on the side of democracy, which I am, if you if you haven't picked up on that, I want there to be fairness and equity. Have you heard people in the American government they hate like poison this program that's like equity, inclusion, and diversity, that's in, I guess, sort of a program for like schools and maybe businesses. They hate it. They're like, they act like it murdered their grandmother, but they feel that way about a lot of things. And I think that's a lot of smoke screen, and then also personal stuff. It just makes it hard to get to the clear bottom of things when there's all this sort of like personal stuff getting mixed in. There's some that say that's going to be like 10 years before we work our way through what we're going through right now, all of the fighting with each other and everything. And I don't know, I think we're going to have to dig deep to not respond in kind with hostility. And one thing the me-tox card said, and then I'm going to be done, it was watching what you say and think. And it's something I've had on my mind, because it is my instinct to come back with a snappy rejoinder or a snarky, witty remark. And it is it's hard. I guess it doesn't need to be hard not to do it in a way where it's hard not to do it in a way where it doesn't offend someone. And I think that's kind of our problem. And maybe like that's a root level that we can start at, is like, maybe if we just people talking to each other on a level where we don't with our leaders and politicians or whatever, I don't know, like, I think it would be a good place to start repairing relations with everyone, like, just at the grassroots level. Like, let's just stop being dicks to each other. Not everyone's gonna want to join that program though, so it's gonna take strength and fortification and maybe some bear maybe some bear power. You know, like a bear don't really have to fight if it doesn't want to. It can just sort of be intimidating. I don't know if this is helpful at all today. I feel kind of a little confused. Anyway, that was it. That was what I got. Thank you and good night.